Mosey, welcome to 5v4 Introduces. How are you doing, pal?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very good, very good.
Great to
Buzzing
hear.
to get the man of the moment on the podcast. It's kicking off now.
Not the man of the moment. Definitely not. No.
The great Twitch quiz is where everybody wants to be right now. Like,
It's
things are looking
yeah.
good.
It's definitely looking up, man. It can only get more positive than what it's been, which is unbelievable so far. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, mate, it's been absolutely smashing it recently. Even with kind of the odd little technical hitch here and there, it's been off the charts. Like, it must been. Is this kind of surpassing the expectations that you had?
Yeah. I know for like the first couple we did, we struggled really for like people coming in because even since the first one we've always said self-promotion in chat, but it was hard for people to come in and like, because you put it on Twitter and stuff and people are like, well, I don't know if it's genuine, and like
Mhm.
uh, pass around it a bit. But yeah, it's like since your quiz with Wesley and Patriot Lad and Convict Gaming, it's just skyrocketed and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
No, it's brilliant. Like, so when you started, where did the idea come from? What made you think I'm going to do a quiz on Twitch?
I was laid in bed.
Right.
I was laid in bed, and I don't know. I was a bit. So I started gaming on Twitch, and like obviously Modern Warfare's like just Apex and stuff like that. And I wasn't really like I'm a numbers guy, and I was like looking at numbers, and I was like, I've hit affiliate, and I'm still not getting amazing numbers. I need to change up my content a bit. And I was led there in bed, and I was like, what's the things I could do? So I thought podcast. For me, I thought it was a little bit saturated. Obviously, yours is a lot different to what like a normal podcast is, but I thought, what about a quiz? And I was just like, all right, I'll go with that. I'll run with that. So
Yeah.
got the teams together and made a set in Microsoft Paint in 30 minutes and went for it and look back since.
Microsoft Paint, old
Microsoft
school.
Paint. Yeah.
I think there's a picture of it on Twitter, isn't there? I had a little look and it looks so much different to how it does now. Um, had you ever hosted quizzes before you decided to do the one on Twitch?
No. Nope. Nope. No prior background or anything like that. I just not even a lockdown quiz or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
why not? Do you know? And it's obviously kicked off. I don't get why people want to. If they're tuning in for me, I don't get it. I'm so awkward, and the quiz can be so scuffed. But I appreciate every single person who comes through. It's been ridiculous. It really has.
I think half it's part of the charm though, like because they get to see the real version of you. The reactions are real when the hype trains are kicking off and things like that. And the odd technical hitch here and there is it's bound to happen. It happens to everybody, regardless of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Um, what was the goal like when you first set out? What did you want to achieve from it?
Um. So I wanted to help people who aren't affiliated or have smaller numbers reach bigger numbers.
Mm.
Whether it was actually coming onto the quiz and taking part or in the chat, self promoting. Sorry. That was the main aim. And even though we've had like a real, like really bigger, sorry, because we're all small still, bigger people like Salvation, Waffles, the Italiano, and Gapper, and that was the first one that went from like the baseline to the higher heights.
Mhm.
I still wanted to get people on who are still relatively small, and that's what I did with the latest one that's just happened on Tuesday. Obviously, technical difficulties, but like
Mhm.
people who they were all under 100 followers. So that's what I want to do. I want people to come on and be able to build up from there, as if to
Yeah.
speak, and grow their viewership and grow everything from the community. That's what it's all about.
I think it says a lot as well, though, that these people that are a little bit further on in their journey on Twitch and are averaging higher amounts of viewers are really keen to come on.
Yeah.
Did you find it was a struggle to get people to come on at first, or what was your experience in kind of trying to recruit people to come on?
100%. Yeah, it was so difficult, so difficult. I reached out to people on Twitter, barely got a response. Just nah, not interested or like nothing at all. Um, I think the first three episodes they were just my friends. Yeah, they were just the first three episodes were people who were in my community were streamers. Sorry, and the first episode was Tom on King Killer Cook, It's Ollie, and Simply Pullum, and they were back on the third episode. That's how much I couldn't get people to come on. Obviously, I reached out to people, and I got 4 Americans to come on, and they all let me down within 2 days of the quiz starting. I came into your channel, and I was just like, "Hi, mate, you all right? Yeah, yeah. Oh, how are you doing? Yeah, just been let down by 4 people for the quiz. You pulled it out of the bag for us, and since that episode, I look back on that episode and I'm like, that is like the start of this, because I would have quit it right there and then because I was struggling that hard to get contestants, and now I can't get people on, I can't fit people on physically. It's ridiculous. But all that started from your quiz, sorry. From that quiz, it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger with people wanting more and more to get involved with it. So it's great to see that people finally understand what we're trying to do and help people.
How was that? You mentioned that first quiz. How did you feel doing that first one? Were you nervous?
Oh yeah, I was. Can I swear?
Sure, go for it. We're all adults.
I'll try and keep it PG, but yeah, I was crapping my pants.
Yeah,
to say the least. I mean, like you said, I've never done anything like this before, so it was very nerve wracking at first. But I think once, because I didn't obviously have a webcam that I could go talk to the chat for. It was literally just straight onto the set, no game boards, just set. You couldn't see the quiz questions, so they were asking constantly, "Oh, what do we have left?" So yeah, I was absolutely popping my pants, and I think once I brought those guys into it, and they started talking, it just relaxed us a lot more, and yeah, just really from there, it's just been. I still get fucking shaky and stuff, but it is what it is. Yeah,
it's natural though, isn't it? Like when it's really kicking off, and there's hype trains going, there's bits coming left, right, and center, there's subs coming left, right, and center. And it's kind of like you do have to take a step back, and it's a bit like, why are they doing this for me? Like, because I get that, and it's nowhere near at the scale that kind of the last few quizzes have been. So the charity one was brilliant. Like, what was the final total that was raised?
$85 we raised for charity, and I made a donation from myself as well. So we ended up raising $105 for the American Heart Association, which I dropped literally the next day onto Salvation, which was great. It was great to see him be so happy that we was able to raise so much money as a community. Yeah,
so much money in what, about 2 hours?
Yeah,
for a quiz.
About 2 hours for a quiz. Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. So now it's kind of it's escalating, and you've got people coming left, right, and center wanting to appear. Does it change the goals that you've got for the channel?
I think because I knew it wasn't kicking off for so long. I think it took. I think your episode was the 5th. Yeah, your episode was the 5th. I was looking at, like I said, quitting the quiz altogether, but because people have obviously found it and they want to grow it. I want to grow the community. That's one of the main goals for me. Anything after that's just great. I just want to try and get people on who are entertaining, and I also want to get small creators on. Because even if we get people who are on 1,000 followers, they're still classed as small streamers. So I just want to get the best people I possibly can on, but also as many people as I possibly can on, which sometimes obviously implausible, obviously with time zones, obviously you tell by my voice, we're both English. You know, it's hard to get some Americans on, but I try my best. Yeah. I think that's just the goals, really. Yeah.
Brilliant. So it started off on Paint. Then we had the game board with the 4 logos. Then we've progressed onto the game board with cameras. what's next? Like,
Oh, well, you have to tune in on Sunday because I've got something new coming. Is this releasing before the quiz?
Well, probably about the same time, yeah.
I can't really say too much because I want it
That's
to
all
be a
right.
surprise.
Keep it up your sleeve. We will all tune in. And if you're listening after the quiz, then you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
It's something completely different that I'm really glad to bring in because it's going to change the dynamic with like questions, I think. That's all I can say. I'll tell you afterwards once we finish recording. Yeah,
no, keep it a secret. I'll be there on Sunday. I like a surprise. Right. So quiz related.
Yeah.
Your quizzes are kind of 4 contestants. If you could choose any 4 people, dead or alive, to be contestants on your quiz, who would you choose?
Wow.
Put you on the spot.
You really have there. David Beckham, because it would be funny. And I'd team him up with Wayne Rooney because that would just be like 2 donkeys.
I think they'd have a new low score.
They would, yeah, exactly. They'll break last week's lowest score. I don't know, really. I like Gordon Ramsay. I'd like to have him on because I think he would just call me a tosser and stuff. Last one's a good one, actually. Probably, yeah, I'll probably say Corey Taylor from Slipknot. He's my favourite musician. I'd say him, yeah.
So we're going with Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Gordon Ramsay on one team, and then you've got David Beckham and Wayne Rooney on the other.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a clear winner.
Yeah. David Beckham and Wayne Rooney one's a bit of a mean one, but yeah, the Gordon Ramsay and Corey Taylor will walk away with it, definitely.
Oh, 100%. And I definitely think you would need that to be a little bit X-rated, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
On one team, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there'll be a lot of swearing and profanity thrown about on that one, for sure.
So going back to say, Mini Mosey and growing up, a lot of our American friends will hear the accent and they won't necessarily know where you're from. So whereabouts, obviously, in the UK are you from?
Well, I'm going to say its full name. So I'm from Kingston upon Hull. That's in East Yorkshire and England. Yeah, that's where I'm from. That's where I was born and raised.
What's Hull known for? If you had to explain kind of anything. And I'm just putting it out there, but there was a question in a recent quiz about Hull.
There was, yeah. The Humber Bridge. Yeah, that's a big one. For a long time, that was the biggest suspension bridge in the world. But now it's like 18 for some shit. What is Hull known for? Oh my God, you put me on the spot here. I can't think of it. There is a couple of people from Hull, but I don't know the names off by heart. Oh, Andrew Lincoln, the guy who played Rick Grimes in Walking Dead. He lived in Hull for a bit. I know that because I was going to use that on the quiz. Chip Spice. There you go. If you know what Chip Spice is, then you know what it's. The American Chip Spice. It's made in Hull, and you can only get it in Hull at Hull takeaways, like pizza shops and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what we're known for, apparently. But
nice.
I'm sure people will be in the comments going, and you forgot about this, and you forgot about this. Please, I woke up half an hour ago. Please, I beg.
So, growing up, obviously in Hull, where would we have most likely seen Mini Mosey? Were you like into music? Was it sport? Was it playing games? What were your interests growing up?
So when I was growing up, I was definitely into sport. Played football a lot, but I mainly played rugby league, like like a like team level. I was shit, but I tried, and I enjoyed gaming. Like obviously, like my dad had a PlayStation 1, and then obviously progressed and stuff, and I really started getting into gaming about the Xbox 360 period. When you had that dongle in the back of your in the back of the 360, I started getting into gaming a bit more.
Yep.
And music came into my life a little bit later on when I was like early 20s. It helped me get through quite a rough patch in my life. So yeah, it's definitely a big part of my life now, though, music. as is gaming as well, but I just don't game that much anymore because of all the preparation that goes into my streams. I literally don't have any time to myself.
I know, like, obviously every man and his dog has done Zoom quizzes at some point during lockdown. And when it's your turn to host and you're scrolling through trying to find questions that you want to test people a little bit, but you don't want to make it too hard.
Yeah.
But you don't want to use the first set of sites because the likelihood is people have been on those sites already and got those questions as well. So I totally get what you mean. In terms of gaming, what was the first game you remember playing? Back on the PS1, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I mean, we had a Sega Mega Drive, but I don't believe that was the first thing I played on. I believe the first game I played was Crash Bandicoot. I believe that was the first game I played. First game I completed as well.
Mm-hmm. That on the PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was like one of the launch games, wasn't it? With like Wipeout and games like that.
Yeah. We had like Gran Turismo and what else do we have? Like Tomb Raider, and my dad used to look at the Tomb Raider's boobs because they were like bones and stuff like that. And it was just like, oh well.
Times have changed.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
What was the game that changed everything? So if you had a standout game that you've played,
I think Call of Duty 4 was the one that got me into multiplayer-based games more than any other game. That was the main reason why I went for like Xbox Live and like to go play with friends. Because you just come home from school on a Friday and just go to no scope some noobs on bloody shipment or whatever. But I think one of the like a single player game that got me the most was probably Red Dead Redemption 1. And that was because it was like the first time I played through a game and like there's actually been a storyline that I've followed all the way through. I've got connected with the characters. So like that really hit home, I believe. And obviously when they released the second one, I was like, yeah, I'm going for that. Yeah. So it was, I'd say Red Dead. Yeah, or COD 4.
Good choices.
Yeah.
And music wise, who are the bands that when music was the kind of really came into your life, who are the bands that kind of really stood out?
Oh, so obviously it changes every time, but like start off with I used to listen to like a bit of pop punk, like your Sum 41s, Green Day, those kind of like bands. But like as I started to grow up a little bit more and like get my head like, oh, I wanted something a bit heavier, I started getting into heavy metal and like rock. So like Slipknot, Avenged Sevenfold, they started coming into it a bit more, and I've started to progress a little bit more in my life. And like I listened to like Parkway Drive and like All That Remains and stuff like that. It's constantly growing. But like to start off with, it was definitely pop punk and like Prodigy and like bands like that. Like that was introduced by my dad too. So yeah, it was them to start off with, definitely.
Who's on your bucket list to go and see live?
That's a good question because I've been to a lot of gigs.
Or is there anyone you go back to as well? If you could literally go, get out of lockdown, go to a gig, who would it be?
It would either have to be Slipknot or Rammstein. I'd probably go for Rammstein more because they were unbelievable. I was obviously with lockdown and everything like that. I was supposed to go see him in June last year, but COVID. So I'd definitely say Rammstein.
Yeah, I've seen Slipknot 2 or 3 times and they put on a phenomenal show. I had to go on my own once because no one would come with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They played Newcastle and I thought, I'll just buy a ticket. Somebody will come. Like somebody will buy a ticket and we'll go. Nobody bought a ticket. So I was like, well, I'm still going.
Yeah, too right.
It was unbelievable. Like reliving my youth. Unreal.
The put on such a great shirt. It's like, how do you have that energy at like nearly 50 years old to do that? I'm 27 and I can't even put the energy into half the stuff I do. So it's absolutely balmy. Drugs. Yeah.
No, you sound like you've got very, very similar music taste to me. Like those kind of bands. We probably, I don't know, similar. Well, I'd say similar ages, but there's a little bit of a difference. But all good. So, I thought what we'll do is we'll finish with a little bit of some quiz questions. So I've got 5 quiz questions here. Right. Some are from your quizzes
Right.
And then I've added a couple in the middle as well. And you don't need to worry. There's going to be no controversial answers. There's nothing about Newcastle Football Club or anything like that.
Better not be.
So, but these are kind of some of the ones that really stood out. And I was like, one, how does somebody else know that? Or two, where have I pulled the answer from? So we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
So first one, how many countries make up the Caribbean?
Oh, 26?
Correct. Well done.
Yes.
This should be a relatively easy one. Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Da Vinci.
Correct again. Number 3, which state is Fargo in?
In Fargo in. Oh, this was on. Was this on yours or the one before it? It was on yours. Mine. I think it's either North Dakota or North Carolina. I can't remember which one. I'm gonna go with fuck it. Carolina, North Carolina.
Incorrect. It's North Dakota. That was the one where I was like, I don't know how I know that answer.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you where I got that one from. All right. Number 4. What's the biggest animal in the world?
An elephant.
It's wrong. It's the blue whale.
Oh, that's so vague. It's rigged. It's rigged.
There is
rigged.
Nothing vague about a blue whale.
I demand 10 points. I demand 10 points.
And number 5. So, who is the top scorer in Major League Soccer history?
Easy. Chris Wondolowski, I believe his
well
name is called.
Done.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Full of useless knowledge up here, I tell you.
So 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Good effort.
I'll take it.
So, one final question. Bit of a curveball. If you were to appear on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, who would be your phone a friend and why?
Damn. I know do quizzes, man, but I don't have any background in quizzes, so I don't really know. I don't follow these quizzes, these answers. I'm going to say probably my cousin, Ollie. Oh, he goes by, it's Ollie 97, because I know that he is a little gremlin and he will be right by a computer, so he could just smash it straight into Wiki, and he's like fucking flying about, and he's in that age group where they type real fast and stuff like that. So I'd go with Ollie, yeah, definitely.
So he can cheat.
Yeah, cheat basically, yeah.
Brilliant. Oh man, Mosey, I've thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you so much for dropping on.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, if you're watching or listening, make sure you check him out on YouTube, on Twitch, at Mosey1510 for the great Twitch quiz. #TGTQ.
Yeah, banged it.
Got it right.
Banged it. Absolutely great.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much, mate.
Guys, thank you so much for your kind comments and feedback about the first episode. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I've got loads more lined up for you on the podcast. Next week, we speak to Convict Gaming 94, who explains where his gamer tag came from. And trust me, that is not an episode you want to miss. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notifications so you know when the next post is. Aside from that, check out Mosey's quiz. The great Twitch quiz is such a good laugh. Hit him up if you want to be a contestant, or just jump in the chat and have a bit of a natter with everybody that's there. You will not regret it. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon.